Brothers and sisters, we thank you for tuning in. This is part 2 of Biblical Black History, part 2. And we just dealt with Jesus and his lineage. And we're talking about the escaping of Jesus and being taken into Egypt, blending in with his mother and his supposed father inside of a black nation. And the only way you can blend in to a black nation, brothers and sisters, is to be the same color as the people that you're blending in with. We're going to go ahead and pick this thing up, brother.
Let's pick it up at Matthew 2 and 19.
Matthew 2 and 19, and it reads,
go ahead.
But when Herod was dead, behold, an angel of the Lord appeared in a dream to Joseph in Egypt, saying, Arise, and take the young child and his mother, and go into the land of Israel, for they are dead which sought the young child's life.
And what happened, Ice?
And he arose and took the young child and his mother and came into the land of Israel.
That's how Jesus got into the land of Israel. And if you read further, he was went into Galilee and then was raised up in the city of Nazareth. That's why he was called Jesus of Nazareth, Black Ice, a town in Israel. So we saw that Jacob, we saw that Joseph was black. We showed that Moses was black. We showed you that Jesus was black and that all Israelites were black. Let me give you another famous black Israelite.
Let me say to those out there who are skeptical and asking the question, why does it even matter what color these people were? Well, brothers and sisters, when you are teaching a young black child who call themselves African American and they have nothing to look at in their history, the furthest they can go back is the slave trade, brothers and sisters, then it becomes important. It becomes important because people who don't know their history is doomed to repeat their history, brothers and sisters. We need to know that we have a direct connection to God. We have covenants, we have statutes, we have laws, and we have commandments that he has given us to give to the whole world. And we wonder why our people are in such the condition that they are in. Maybe it was something that we didn't do. Maybe it's something that our ancestors did not do, brothers and sisters. Since we are the Israelites of this Bible.
And can prove it, and we reading about it.
Brothers and sisters, maybe our condition is not the fault of the people that have been oppressing us. Maybe it's the fault of our very own.
Well, we're going to read that, Black Eye.
Let's go, Brother Julius.
Let's go to Acts chapter 21. Acts chapter 21. Let me show you one famous Israelite who some people even think that is greater than Jesus. Acts 21, and we're going to start at verse 37, Black Ice.
And when we say some think that, brothers and sisters, we're saying that sarcastically because a lot of people will use these books of the New Testament written by this apostle, brothers and sisters, more so than they would read what the prophets wrote. And again, what the prophets wrote was only what they were inspired to write by the very man who sacrificed his life for our salvation.
Absolutely, Black Ice.
Acts 21.
Acts 21 and verse 37.
Acts 21 and 37.
Come on, bro, let's do it.
And it reads, And as Paul was to be led into the castle, he said unto the chief captain,
which was a Roman guard, go ahead.
May I speak unto you?
Yes.
Who said, Canst thou speak Greek?
Go ahead.
Art not thou that Egyptian?
What?
They called Paul an Egyptian.
Why did they call Paul an Egyptian? Because he looked like an Egyptian. Listen, I am in America and the world is being run by the Gentiles, but I'm dressed up like an American. I'm dressing like a Gentile. Black Ice is dressing like a Gentile. You see them in their business suits. Because we are in captivity and we are products of our environment, sisters and brothers. So therefore, Paul is mistaken as an Egyptian. But Paul, continue. Let Paul tell you who he is, Black Ice. Go ahead.
Art not you that Egyptian, which before these days made an uproar and led out into the wilderness 4,000 men that were murderers?
Continue.
But Paul said, I am a man which am a Jew.
Because Paul knew his pedigree, Black Ice. The Egyptians come out of Noah's son, Ham. The Jews come out of Noah's son, Shem. Just like the Edomites, and just like the Arabs, Black Ice. Because they come out of Abraham, Out of Abraham's lineage, Black Ice. Read that again, 39.
But Paul said, I am a man which am a Jew of Tarsus, a city in Sicilia, a citizen of no mean city,
right?
And I beseech thee, suffer me to speak unto the people.
Yes.
And when he had given him license, Paul stood on the stairs and beckoned with the hand unto the people. And when there was made a great silence, he spake unto them in the Hebrew tongue.
But Paul was multilingual. Paul spoke many tongues. 22. Acts 22, Acts, quickly.
Acts 22.
And 1. Acts 22 and 1.
Acts 22.
You see, sisters and brothers, why would Paul speak in the Hebrew language? Because that was the language, which is an Aramaic language of the Jews, sisters and brothers, Hebrew.
He spoke to them in the Hebrew language, saying, Acts 22 and 1, Men, brethren and fathers, hear ye my defense which I make unto you.
Yes.
And when they had heard that he had spake in the Hebrew tongue to them, they kept the more silence, and he said, I am verily a man which am a Jew.
But Paul was not a Jew, if you want to really understand this. He just ran up on the banner of Judah. But Paul was a Benjamin Israelite from the tribe of Benjamin. We can read that to you in another place. But the Jews were scattered, sisters and brothers. The Jew, Levi, Benjamin, and Judah was known as the house of Judah. That's why he said, I'm a Jew. But Paul was a Benjamite, still an Israelite, but of the tribe of Benjamin. But he's running up under the banner of Judah, or the Jews. Come on, Ice.
I am verily a man which am a Jew, born of Tarsus, a city in Sicilia, yet brought up in the city at the feet of Gamaliel, and taught according to the perfect manner of the law of the fathers, and was zealous towards God, as you all are this day.
Because God gave Israel all the laws, statutes, commandments, the promises, the covenants. On your own, go to Romans, the 11th chapter, and Paul will tell you that himself. So, Black Ice, but the Paul that we see in the history books is the Gentile-looking Paul, correct? With a bald head, with a flame of fire coming from his head. But the real Hebrew Israelites are black, Black Ice, like we read.
So why, brothers and sisters, would it be so important that those who translated the book, and when I say translated the book, I'm talking about who told the story and gave it to us. Why would it be so important to them to make all the apostles white? To make Jesus white? To make them look like hippies, brothers and sisters, of the 1960s with long stringy hair, blonde hair, blue eyes. Why would it be so important for them to change the image of the people who were black as the Egyptians and make them look like this, brothers and sisters? Could it be the effects of white supremacy?
Black Ice, if the Gentiles run the world, that takes me back to Egypt. Napoleon, who was a ruler of Europe, shot the nose off of the Sphinx in Egypt.
Yes, he did.
So now what you see, you don't see, because the Sphinx was a pharaoh's head, a black man's head on a lion's body. So he shot the nose off to discourage the people, sisters and brothers. But did God compare his people to Egyptian in color? Or did he compare his people to another people in addition to the Egyptians?
Well, let's find out.
Let's go to Amos chapter 9.
That all these Israelites, they look like Egyptians, but there's even a people, Brother Julius, who is considered to be darker than the Egyptians. Let's find it out. Let's go.
Let's go to Amos chapter 9.
Amos chapter 9, brothers and
sisters. we got one verse. We got one verse.
Amos chapter 9, Biblical Black Histories, brothers and sisters, part 2, Amos chapter 9.
And verse 7.
And verse 7.
When you read it, go ahead, Black. And we're going to show you, and we're going to explain to you why this happened the way that it happened. Go ahead, Ice.
Amos 9 and 7. Are you not as children of the Ethiopians unto me, O children of Israel, saith the Lord?
Wait a minute. Joseph passed for the Egyptian. Moses passed for the Egyptian. Jesus went down into the land of Egypt. Paul passed for an Egyptian. And now the Lord got another people that, because he knew in the 7th century, during the spring, he looked down the line, saw how the Arabs or the Ishmaelites through the spread of Islam would knock out the real Egyptians out of power.
Brothers and sisters, when you look at the Egyptians today, brothers and sisters,
yes,
they look nothing like the people written or drawn on the artifacts or the hieroglyphics on the walls of the pyramid.
But Black Ice, we have pictures of Julius Caesar. We got pictures of Napoleon. We got pictures of Charlemagne. We even got pictures of the Romans.
Absolutely.
And the Greeks. And they all look like they're artifacts.
But you know what? We still got pictures of the Egyptians on the walls of the pyramids, brothers and sisters. And they look nothing like the people who's running the country now. Because the Arab is not the true Egyptian. Absolutely. But God knew that the Arab would come and take over the country. So he didn't want to compare us to the Arab. He wanted to compare us to a people that was even darker than them.
And he compared us to a people that no Gentile or no Ishmaelite,
or say it real right, ain't no white folks gonna come and compare themselves to an
white
Ethiopian.
People can ever compare himself to an Ethiopian, because the word Ethiop or Ethiopia means dark skinned or burnt faced. So the Lord compared his people to a people that are dark in color, that the Gentiles can never call themselves.
That's right.
Another one of Ham's children, the Ethiopians or Cushites.
So, Brother Julius, we got this color thing down.
Yes.
I think it's clear, we've made a clear case, Brother Julius, that based on the history of Joseph being sold into slavery, passing for an Egyptian, even fooled his brothers who didn't recognize him.
Yes.
And then we went into Moses.
Yeah.
Led into the hands of Pharaoh's daughter as a baby.
Yeah.
Raised him as her own.
Yeah.
All of the Egyptian people thought that he was actually Pharaoh's grandson. Looked like this black African king.
I guarantee you that Pharaoh bounced Moses on his knee, Black Ice.
Absolutely.
Like you bounced your nephews. Or like my grandfather bounced me on his knee because I was his grandson.
And then we got to the greatest man ever written in the annals of history, Jesus, who also passed for these black people in Africa called the Egyptians.
Yes.
So now we got to get to, how did we go from all of these great patriots, all of these great prophets, all of these great leaders? People are going to want to ask the question and going to want to know, Brother Julius, how did we get from there to here? Stay tuned, brothers and sisters, for part 3 of Biblical Black History, as told by the prophets, brothers and sisters. We're going to go ahead and kick off part 3, go back and listen to part 1 and part 2.